Welcome back to Sailing Trilleen, a shared story of the rehabilitation of an aged Vancouver 27 sailboat and of my own rehab too. Come along and enjoy the story.
So when a sunny day came round, which this definitely isn't, Colin, the fantastically effective marine technician who's helping me refit Trilleen, decreed that it was time to unship the rudder and investigate the cracks which were worrying the surveyor. On Trilleen, the rudder has been supported by a heel bearing and two gudgeon pins. Now, if you subtract the heel bearing, that's basically the situation you've got on most sailing dinghies. Incredibly simple to maintain, and also incredibly simple to unship if you have to. When the rudder was down, many years of paint was carefully but swiftly removed with the help of the very large orbital sander that Colin has in his armoury, and whatever happens, this rudder will be going back into the water some pounds lighter, having lost an awful lot of anti-foul. Almost all the cracks turned out to be non-structural, just crazing in the paintwork, especially round the waterline. Two cracks looked like they might be more problematic. One's here and the other's on the other side. Some very careful diagnostic work with a Dremel and a V-shaped tool allowed us to see what was going on inside. We've created a custom remediation plan which will allow this rudder to see out another 40 years, I hope. So that will be happening when the weather's warm enough to let the resin cure well, which it certainly isn't at the moment. Anyway, that's enough about the rudder. I'll take you along for the ride when we do repair it. Why don't we go inside and see what's going on with the headlinings and up forward in the anchor locker where I've been working this morning.
Anyone who's spent any time on boats doing maintenance will know that almost every job involves one tool, the scraper. In this case, the scraper has been employed to clear the sides of the coach roof where the headlinings have been stuck on with sticky vinyl. It's a standard method, perfectly good method, but I don't think these headlinings have been changed since the yacht came out of the factory, and so when we took the headlinings off, all the glue had decayed and there was loose foam and so on the sides which needed to be scraped off, so there's been an awful lot of scraping going on. I promise you that if you're not sick of videos of scraping yet, you will be by the time Trilleen hits the water. Doing all this surface prep on the coach roof sides now means that when Eagle Windows, who are a boat window refurbishment company, that's all they do, ship us back the port lights for this boat, it will be a straightforward job to reinstall them, and we won't be faffing around trying to get the headlinings to stick back onto surfaces that aren't quite ready. So it's all about scheduling jobs in the right order to make the best progress we can. Especially when it's raining, it's possible to work in here and get ahead on various jobs. So I'm up in the Foxel, which is mostly storage and heads in this boat, Trilleen. And one of the major jobs I've got to do today is to roust out the anchor chain and also to measure the free height between the chain pile and the deck head. That's an important height, not only because it tells me how much more room I've got to stash chain, but also because for an electric windlass there are critical heights that the chain has to be able to free fall in order that the power windlass can actually work properly and not jam up. So I'm just going to work my way forwards into the lockers. If I disappear, then who knows whether I will ever reappear. So I'm now sitting directly above the anchor locker, back up on deck. And the first job is to very carefully drop this large CQR anchor, currently stowed up here on the pulpit. Drop it very carefully onto the pallet that's down below, and then pull out the chain, metre by metre, and drop it too onto that pallet. So let's just pull the pin, get it out through the roller. First thing we're going to do is put the chain out through the roller. Not in terrible condition, but in the middle of it we've come across one of these. It's called a C-link, and unlike a big ship's anchor shackle, these are known to be not terribly reliable and to have issues with failing. So that's probably an indication to me that I'm going to need some new chain, which is unfortunate but was expected, so that's fine.